What if I told you your cat might be doing a lot more than just napping, knocking things off your table, and ignoring you on command? What if I told you your cat might actually be protecting your soul? I know, it sounds wild, but let me take you down a path you've probably never walked before. Back in the 1940s, there was a man named Edgar Cayce. Some called him the Sleeping Prophet. While in trance-like states, he made thousands of predictions about health, the future, and the unseen spiritual world. But one of his lesser-known prophecies, it was about cats. According to Cayce, cats aren't just pets. They're cosmic guardians, energetic protectors, tiny fur-covered healers sent into our lives for reasons far bigger than we think. And if you've ever looked at your cat and felt like they knew something about you, your pain, or even the energy in the room, you're not imagining it. Let me ask you this. Has your cat ever suddenly stared at an empty corner of the room like they were seeing something you couldn't? Ever come lay on your chest when you were anxious, sick, or just sad, almost like they felt it? Do they always seem to choose the person in the house who needs them the most? Drop a comment right now if you've ever had one of those moments with your cat. Tell me their name. Tell me something weird or magical they've done. You're not alone. There's a reason so many cat owners have these stories. Edgar Cayce believed that cats were assigned to us, not randomly, but spiritually, as if the universe said, this soul needs this companion. He said, cats have a vibration that can absorb negative energy from a household. They don't just lie there being cute. They're tuning into the emotional, even spiritual atmosphere around them. And modern science? It's starting to catch up. Did you know a cat's purr vibrates at around 25 to 26 hertz? That's the exact frequency doctors use to stimulate bone healing. Some researchers now believe cats can help reduce stress, anxiety, and even regulate blood pressure just by existing near us. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Cayce said, cats don't just protect you from your own stress, they protect you from spiritual disturbances, things we can't see, negative energies that may be lingering in our homes or even in ourselves. If you've ever noticed your cat acting weird for no reason, like suddenly avoiding a room or becoming extra clingy, it might be more than just cat behavior. According to Cayce, it could be that they're sensing something we're blind to. Let me share a real story that gave me chills. One woman wrote in saying that her cat always slept at the foot of her bed until 1 week it suddenly refused to enter her bedroom. She laughed it off, until she started waking up every night at 3 a.m. with nightmares and a feeling of heaviness in her chest. Then one night, she had a dream where her cat stood at the doorway, blocking something from entering. She woke up sweating, and her cat was actually sitting at the door, staring into the darkness. Coincidence? Maybe. But after she saged the room and cleaned up some old emotional baggage, her words, not mine, the cat came right back in like nothing ever happened. So, what if Cayce was right? What if cats really are little energy filters, soaking up the stuff we can't see or feel? What if that little purring loaf on your couch is quietly guarding your peace, your sanity, and maybe even your soul? We'll dig deeper into Cayce's theories in the next section, but before we go on, take a moment right now. Look at your cat, or think of one you've had. Can you honestly say they're just a pet? Or are they something more? If you feel like your cat has ever saved you emotionally, or been there for you in ways no human was, share your story in the comments. I promise, this is a safe space for cat lovers who've experienced something a little magical. And don't forget to hit that like button if this is already blowing your mind. Part 2 is coming up next. And trust me, it only gets weirder from here. So, let's pick up where we left off. If cats really are more than pets, if they're quiet spiritual guardians, then what does that actually look like in our everyday lives? Well, it might look a lot like your cat jumping on your lap right when you're feeling down, or curling up on your pillow the night before a big decision, or even disappearing when the energy in your home just feels off. And it turns out there's some science to back this up. A study from the University of Minnesota found that cat owners were 30% less likely to die of heart attacks. 30%. That's not a fluke, that's a pattern. But Edgar Cayce would have said, of course, they're not just comforting you, they're balancing your energy. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Cayce once said that every cat is assigned to a human soul, not randomly, not by accident. He believed that the universe, or a divine intelligence, pairs each of us with the cat we need in this lifetime. And honestly, that explains a lot, because haven't you ever felt like your cat just gets you, like they arrived at the exact moment you needed them? One viewer recently messaged me saying, I adopted my cat after a really bad breakup. I was depressed, couldn't sleep, didn't even want to eat. But my cat, Milo, would curl up on my chest every night and just stay there. He didn't want food, didn't play, he just stayed. It felt like he was holding my broken heart together. If you've had a moment like that, drop your cat's name in the comments. I want to know how they found you. And here's the wild part. Cayce believed that some cats are actually reincarnated souls, possibly beings who've walked with you in past lives. Yeah, I know it sounds out there, but think about it. Have you ever met a cat and felt that instant connection, like you've known them forever? There's something about that kind of bond that goes beyond logic, and that's exactly what Cayce was getting at. He said cats carry a vibrational code in their bodies, almost like a spiritual barcode that links them to their human. That's why your cat might behave differently when you feel off. It's not just that they notice your mood, it's that your energies are linked. You shift, they shift, and people around the world are noticing. In Japan, elderly care centers have therapy cats that help calm dementia patients, lowering aggression, easing fear, and even bringing some patients back to verbal communication after months of silence. In Brazil, one family swears their rescue cat sensed an oncoming seizure before it happened, meowing loudly until the child was laid down safely. All across the globe, cats are doing more than being cute. They're tuned in, not just emotionally, but spiritually. It's almost like they're these quiet, living antennae, sensing things we can't, and helping guide us through emotional storms without saying a word. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed your cat suddenly looking straight at a wall, ears perked, body still, like they're watching something invisible? You're not alone, and you're not crazy. Cayce believed cats could perceive spiritual energy, that they saw the unseen, entities, vibrations, even shifts in human emotion before we ever felt them. So maybe, when your cat's staring into the void, they're not just being weird. Maybe they're doing their job, watching, guarding, balancing. Here's what I want you to take away from this part of our journey. Your cat isn't just there for cuddles or comic relief. They might be there to help you survive something you don't even know is coming. That's the kind of quiet loyalty cats bring into our lives. And the more we start paying attention, the more we realize they've been guiding us all along. So, take a moment tonight. Sit with your cat. Watch them. And maybe, Just, maybe, ask them what they see that you don't. And hey, if this is giving you chills, go ahead and subscribe, because in the next part, we're going to explore the science behind this magic. Yes, real experiments and real data showing that your cat might be connected to the universe in ways no one expected. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Let's talk science. Yes, real, measurable, modern-day science is starting to back up what Edgar Cayce said nearly a century ago. Take this. Did you know a cat's purr vibrates at 25-26 hertz? That's the exact frequency used in physical therapy to promote healing in bones and muscles. It's not just a cute sound, it's a built-in healing mechanism. And it's not just humans who benefit. Cats heal themselves with it, too. Ever wonder why cats recover from injuries faster than dogs? That's part of the reason. But here's where it gets more cosmic. In a recent study, researchers noticed something odd when cats were near EMF, electromagnetic field sensors. The readings spiked, not randomly, but in structured waves, almost like patterns you'd see in brain scans. What does that mean? It could mean cats are responding to, or even interacting with, fields we don't fully understand. Some scientists think it's similar to how birds navigate magnetic fields. Others believe cats may be sensitive to energy shifts in a room, which explains why your cat always knows when something's off. Let's bring this back to you. Have you ever walked into a room and your cat suddenly froze, stared into a corner, and then bolted like they saw a ghost? Yeah, same. And Cayce believed they probably did. He claimed that cats could detect spiritual activity and even protect us from it, that their presence wasn't just comforting, it was protective, like living smoke alarms for the spiritual world. It's a little wild, right? But if you've lived with a cat, you know, they sense things. They know when you're upset. They know when you're sick. And they sure as heck know when someone walks into your house with weird energy. So let's flip the perspective. What if cats aren't acting strange? What if they're doing exactly what they're meant to do? If this idea resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Say, "My cat is my protector." Or tell me about a moment when your cat did something you couldn't explain. Because if enough of us speak up, maybe this won't feel like mysticism anymore. Maybe it's just reality we haven't fully accepted yet. And in our final section, we'll explore something even deeper. What if your cat didn't just come into your life by chance? What if they were sent? So let's get personal. Have you ever looked at your cat and thought, how did I end up with you? Not in a bad way, but in that strange, magical, of all the cats in the world, why you kind of way. Well, Edgar Cayce believed it wasn't random. He said cats are drawn to people by vibrational frequency. Think of it like cosmic matchmaking. Your energy called out, and your cat answered. Sound crazy? Here's something wild. AI researchers analyzing millions of adoption records noticed an eerie trend. People often adopt the exact cat that matches their emotional needs, even without realizing it. And they stay together through major life events, breakups, losses, career changes, health crises. Coincidence? Or something bigger? Let me tell you about my friend Rachel. She adopted a senior rescue cat during a time when her life was falling apart. That cat, Smokey, never left her side. When Rachel was too anxious to sleep, Smokey would curl up on her chest and purr until her heartbeat slowed. She swears that Cat saved her life more than once, not with heroic leaps or magic tricks, but just by being there. And that's the beauty of it. Cats don't try to fix you. They don't lecture you. They just show up and stay. They sit with you in the silence. They look into your soul without judgment. That's what Cayce meant by cosmic guardians. They don't fight your battles, but they hold the space so you can. Now, here's something to really think about. If cats are part of a bigger plan, if their purpose is to guide us, ground us, even heal us, then maybe we've misunderstood them this whole time. Maybe when they ignore you, they're giving you space. Maybe when they purr, they're tuning your nervous system. Maybe when they show up in your life, it's not by chance, it's by design. So next time your cat stretches out in a sunbeam or settles into your lap, ask yourself, what if they're not just relaxing? What if they're protecting something sacred? Here's your moment to reflect. Has your cat ever shown up right when you needed them most? Do they act differently when you're sad, anxious, or sick? Do you feel like they know you better than most people do? If you've experienced anything like this, leave a comment. Say, my cat is part of my soul journey, or just drop your cat's name below. Let's celebrate them together. And if you're watching this without a cat in your life, maybe now's the time to open that door, not just to a pet, but to a partner in your healing, your growth, and maybe your destiny. Thanks for being here. Hit like if this made you see your cat in a new light. Share it with a fellow cat lover. And subscribe for more stories that connect the mystical with the meaningful. See you next time. And give your cat an extra cuddle from me. They're doing far more than we ever imagined.